Welcome to the 2012 LegCo Election Forum produced by RTHK. I am Fung. Next to me is Ms. Ngai Shan. You are all familiar with her. Thank you very much for helping us to produce this program. Thank you. Welcome. RTHK, starting from tonight, for 3 Saturdays and Sundays, will produce 5 LegCo Geographical Constituency Election Forum and a newly added FC Election Forum, District Council number 2, the so-called Super District Council, so that you will understand more about the candidates. Today we have candidates from 14 name lists of the Hong Kong Island. They are all here. So let's start the introduction of their platform. Okay. Now, in relation to the list number, they will be invited to speak in order. First, name list number 1. You have 15 seconds. Citizens, I am number 1, Hui Ching-on. In LegCo, there are only voices from Democrat and establishment camp, and there is the lack of the third voice. So as an independent person, I will use a professional and rational voice in LegCo. Thank you. Number 2, I am Sin Chung Kai from Democratic Party. We're in the Hong Kong Island for 20 years. Please support the rational and practical Sin Chung Kai team so that we can have universal suffrage. And please defend democracy and clean culture in Hong Kong. Thank you. Please vote for me. I'm LEUNG. I take part in the election because I'm not happy with the performance of LegCo. The establishment camp is like a rubber stamp. The democratic camp is against democracy. So I'm here to give you a better choice. I am more passionate, honest, and I will discharge my responsibilities. Thank you. I'm number 4, YEUNG. I want to ask you 3 questions. 1, 15 years after your reunification, is your life better or not? And who should be held accountable? Is it true that nothing can be done? If so, how should it be done? Thank you. I'm number 5, Chung Kan from DAB. DAB serves Hong Kong. We have been together for 20 years. We serve the Hong Kong Island and we are the strongest. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Wing Chen. I represent the interests of the workers. I take part in the election because I want to change the scene of Hong Kong. I want to get rid of the representative system. I want to do away with all the unreasonable system. I want to strive for benefits for workers. Thank you. I am Sit Ho, Chang Si Lun, Chung Chung Fai. We are the Labour Party taking part in the Hong Kong Island direction. We are concerned about the vulnerable people, and the democratic side is very firm. So I hope you will support us. Number 7. Thank you. I am number 8, Regina. We have Wong Fung, K, and we are highly clean. We have high degree of integrity. Please support us to continue to serve people. We will be honest and do something concrete. Please vote for us, number 8. Thank you. We're number 9 from FTU Wong Kwok-hing. We are working for the workers, for the employees, and also for the small entrepreneurs. So on the 9th of September, please vote for number 9, Wong Kwok-hing from FTU. Thank you. This is the last seat for the Hong Kong Island, and this is a battle between me and the pro-government party. If you don't want the seat to be in the pro-government party, Chen Ka-long and I need 80,000 votes. Please vote for us, number 10, and vote for us. Thank you. I am whatever man. Now in the LegCo, well, all the members of the public feel helpless. Nothing can be done. I want to join the council. Please vote for me, number 11, whatever man. Thank you. All laws have to be passed by LegCo. All public works have to be approved by LegCo. For LegCo to discharge its responsibilities, we need responsible and competent councillors. We need a president who is committed and experienced. Please continue to support me. I am number 13, Miriam Lau. Since we're against Article 23, we were crowded out. Today, we do not have firm votes and any support. We have to stand firm on our feet. We won't blindly support and object. We will go for the reasons. Okay, thank you. I am LSD YUEN. Youngsters in Hong Kong feel hopeless. The elderly and the working class are worried. I'm here because there is injustice in society. LSD will continue to fight. Please support LSD and YUEN. Thank you, all 14 lists. Now we are in Q&A session on politics. Each list will have 1 minute 10 seconds to answer the moderator's questions. Okay, please indicate if you want to speak. And at appropriate times, we will ask the second question, then you can continue to answer. Please try your best to make good use of your 1 minute and 10 seconds. The remaining time won't be given back to you or your name list. First question. Are you in support of any amendment to LegCo's rules of procedures to limit any filibustering? Number 9. You can see that in the past term, at the last meeting, LSD and People Power filibustered, and a lot of public funds were spent. A lot of work can't be done. Many bills are not worked on. So I think that in the new LegCo, there's the need to change rules of procedures. Chen Ka-lok, Tanya Chan from Civic Party. Before we have real universal suffrage, the right to speak of all LegCo councillors is valuable. As long as they resort to the reasons and facts, we are against amending rules of procedures to deprive LegCo members' right to speak. In other countries, members' right to speak is respected, but there must be the rules. So in other countries, there are many rules to limit speaking time so that there won't be excessive filibustering. I hope that in Hong Kong, these practices from other countries can be introduced to limit LegCo members so that there will be order. Actually, in the council, filibustering is the only way for the opposition party to defend ourselves. Kwok-hing, please remember, all items on people's livelihood have been worked on and passed. We are only against the replacement mechanism and the new organization structure. We are against any deprivation of freedom of speech. Without universal suffrage, this is something that cannot be done. I think what needs to be changed is the voting by division in LegCo and functional constituency system. These two systems allow the minority like Kwok-hing,
They have only small number of people, but they dominate the voting results. Rules of procedure of LegCo protect members' right to speak. Well, after discussion, if there are 2/3 of the votes in support, then the rules of procedures can be amended with consensus. Each member's right to speak should be respected. In LegCo, well, originally there was no rules of procedure, but because of filibustering damaging the rules of procedures, then definitely there must be new rules to limit people or members' speech. Rules of procedures are there to protect councillors' responsibility to speak instead of depriving them of their right to speak. We feel regrettable that Yok-sing, after approving 1,300-odd amendment motions, well, at early time in the morning, without giving notice, terminated members' debates. This is regrettable. I don't want this to happen again. Well, I think what Miriam Lau said is really a joke. Within rules of procedures, filibustering is allowed. Do you want to impeach Yok-sing? Miriam Lau has been in the HC for over 20 years, and she said that there is no need to pay attention to the number of people in attendance. This is actually in the basic law. Is it true that with only one member in LegCo, meeting can still go on? I really want to die when I see these LegCo members. A minority of councillors doing filibustering, where they have deprived other colleagues' right to speak, and LegCo cannot work on things that they ought to do. There are other systems, and councillors' speaking time should be limited. Well, when I terminated the debate, well, whose speaking right has been deprived of? We are talking about those who are bound to stay there because there are a few members who have spoken for 20, 30 times, so please resort to the facts. The Democratic Party has not participated in the public referendum. As a result, there is this situation. With public referendum, we can vote. We don't need to argue further. Members of the public are already very tired of this. Your information is wrong. I have been the chairman of HC for 9 years. In other countries, there are rules to abolish the arrangement of counting votes anytime. We are outdated. This is in the basic law. Filibustering is something that the public is tired of. So amending rules of procedures to optimize the arrangement is something really necessary. Filibustering in LegCo is not right. I think we need the President's approval. The President should be determined to say whether or not filibustering should be allowed. Chiu Yok-yun emphasized knowledge. The basic law has a rule on quorum. In other countries, there is not the rule on quorum, that in the whole meeting, at every minute there must be a quorum. Concerning filibustering, well, because in other countries, their council is directly returned to protect the minorities' right to speak. Without universal suffrage, we are against amending the rules. Now we have more pro-government party members, so this is too conservative. We will be against that. Thank you very much, candidates from the 40 name list. We will take a rest and we'll continue in the next session. Welcome back to the question and answer session on policies. The question is, national education has aroused a lot of concern, but should people resort to student strike to strive for abolition of national education? I am against student strike to oppose, because this is sacrificing students' interests. I am a parent of 3 children. My wife and I are concerned about national education. But definitely, we won't support student strike to abolish national education. I am Chen Ka-lok, number 10 from Civic Party. Let's deal with this matter. National education has aroused a lot of concern. Parents are worried about brainwashing of their children. On the 3rd of September, Leung Ying didn't want to listen to people. There are a lot of views in society. The civic team will listen to them. We hope the government will listen to people's views. I hope all teams can promise that we should first abolish the proposal and do consultation first. Number 13, students go back to school to learn. If they don't go to school, if they go on a strike, parents won't agree. The Liberal Party is against a student strike. National education is in many different countries in different ways. Hong Kong people are clever. Information is rich. We won't be brainwashed. Now there are only technical issues, issues about the curriculum, issues about evaluation. If implementation period can be lengthened so that parents, schools and teachers can be well prepared, then that would be fine. There's not the need for student strike. If teachers and students decide to go on a strike to ask for abolition of national education, then this shows that the government has not listened to people's views. So many people are taking to the street. The government is still insisting on its own policy. So that's why there may be student strike. I'm worried that even student strike cannot remove national education. In the future, we must monitor the situation, work with teachers, students and schools to monitor whether there is any brainwashing effect. Implementing national education is the responsibility of the SARG. We all know that before reunification in Hong Kong, students received a lot of negative education. After reunification, because the SARG is not competent, there is like a blank sheet of paper in education. I asked the SARG to implement national education, because this is about nurturing the next generation and the next generation of leaders. I support student strike. This is not radical. This is just mild. The Democratic Party does not take part in public referendum. With public referendum, then we can solve this controversial issue. There's not the need to argue here. Thank you. Why do we talk about student strike? Just withdraw the policy or proposal. You are forcing the students to the corner. Regina, you should not mislead people. Don't talk about other countries. In the U.S., national education has brainwashing effects. George Bush also brainwashed people. We have China history. We have parents to teach the children. There's not the need for national education. In the whole world, I understand that there is national education only in Singapore. In other countries, there is only civic education. In all advanced countries, there is not something called national education. Please don't deceive people. Number two, when it comes to student strike, students don't need to listen to their parents. This is not logical. If parents don't agree, how can primary students go on a strike? Because parents want it, so that's why there is student strike. The rights, the power rests with parents and teachers. I am against national education. This proposal should be withdrawn. There is something teachers cannot teach. How can they teach children to accept one-party rule? This is not in line with universal values, so no teacher can teach this. The Democratic Party is against national education. We want it to be withdrawn. Without national education, there is not the need to consider student strike. This is putting the cart in front of the horse. When we go back to LegCo, we should work together to ban national education by the government. Citizens, I am number 5, Chung Shu-kan's team. We are against any type of brainwashing education, and we are against student strike. It is not a matter of whether national education should be offered. It is a matter of how. Now there is a preparation period for 3 years. I believe teachers in schools, parents will be able to choose curriculum that is suitable. If schools have enough time to be prepared, then they can implement it. But without good preparation, then it should not be done hastily. So please continue to support number 5, Chung Shu-kan's team. Number 10, Chen Kah-lok from Civic Party. The 2 former professors of the Hong Kong IED once recently said to me that government officials do not have credibility. They are worried that national education may actually undermine citizens' values. They are leaders in the education sector. Hong Kong people should listen to their worries. All right, number 10, you have used up your time for this session. Number 13, teachers said that there is only national education in Singapore. That's not true. In other places, there is citizenship education. The content is the same as national education. You should not just only refer to the name. You are misleading people. First of all, this can't be taught. How many people died in the Wenchuan earthquake? The teacher was arrested because they're talking about national secret. Now, government officials have low credibility. No one will believe them, so this won't be successful. Don't worry. DAB doesn't need to worry about brainwashing. You are all silly people. There's not the need to brainwash them. Well, I think teachers should not resort to such insulting language. This is bad for children. Please don't learn from them. Candidates, please pay attention that you should not try to defame other people. All right, number 10, number 4, you have used up your time. Next question. Recently, property prices have been rising, and in the new territories, the property price is close to that in urban centers. So what measures should be there to suppress property prices? We're number 9, Kwok-hing's team. We ask that the new government must have a long-term housing policy and strategy, because now members of the public have to pay high rents and property price, because in the past, government's policy favored property developers. So I hope the LEUNG administration will build more public housing units and resume building HOS and help the first-time buyers to buy properties without the need to pay down payments. Thank you. Time is up. Number 2. FTU always has representatives in EXCO. Just now, Kwok-hing talked about the policies. In the past 15 years, if that was successful, then the situation won't be like this. We ask that more public housing units should be built and HOS building should be resumed. And they should make good use of the idle 4,000 hectares of land. Now, Leung during the election, talked about Hong Kong people, Hong Kong land. After election, he didn't mention it anymore. Number 2, number 9, you have used up all your time. Number 1, I am Hui Ching-on. Number 1, property prices are so high because there's not enough supply. In 2003, during SARS, the government stopped the supply, so property prices have been increasing. Up till now, members of the public have to pay high rents and property price. Now the government can build more HOS and public housing units so that public housing units can move to HOS. HOS tenants can buy private property. With more supply, the market price will come down. The most basic solution is to increase the number of public housing units to be built and relax the eligibility criteria. Now the eligibility criteria have not been reviewed for a long time. Housing is a livelihood issue that most people are concerned about. Ying should do something. There should be more properties affordable to Hong Kong people. There should be some property for Hong Kong people. I think that Hong Kong people, Hong Kong land. The housing market should be offered to those who are in need, and then there are private properties for those who can afford the price. Ying should implement this measure. They should not try to keep a good relationship with property developers. In deferring this measure, I think it is feasible to build more public housing units and HOS. For private properties, the government cannot intervene. There are only these two things to balance the picture. CY, in the past, you talked about 85,000. Now, with 58,000, it would be better. Property prices have increased because the SARG in the past stopped the building of housing. I propose that SARG should provide a lot of funds to build PRH for those who have been living in Hong Kong for 15 years so that they will have housing to live in. I'm number 5 Chung Shu Kan's team. If I can join LegCo, the first thing I will do is to urge the government to stabilize property price and offer a huge land supply. HOS building should be resumed and more PRH should be built. With adequate housing supply, property prices can stabilize. Thank you. Increase the number of PRH, resume building of HOS. We have been talking about this for a long time. FTU, DAB, you have the same request, but in the past 15 years, you supported all CEs. Now, the establishment camp defended small circle election. That's the result. Chan Mao-po wants to make money because he has built compartmentalized flats. Now, I'm pushing on. I support Hong Kong land, Hong Kong people. Many mainlanders come to buy properties, but they have left the units vacant. They do not rent them out. As a result, there is a shortage of supply. Hong Kong people, Hong Kong land, if the property market is divided, then luxurious flats will become more expensive. Hong Kong people cannot enjoy upward mobility. The SARG believes in free market, so that's why they are against limiting properties only to Hong Kong people. But all governments believing in free markets, we should not neglect all those who cannot afford to buy properties. So there should be more public housing, public rental housing. This is important. Apart from PRH, building of HOS should be resumed because members of the middle class cannot afford the properties. Private properties are too expensive. So the government should build more PRH and sandwich class housing. We propose the building of PRH, but that should be Hong Kong people, Hong Kong land. This part is finished.